It's time.
Get on up.
It's time.
You say what's the time for? It's time for Shooter and who?
Shooter and Schooley.
It's We the Thunder.
We're talking boats. We're talking boats.
We're talking Tampa hockey.
We're making sense.
Oh, what's going on at the bench? I said Cooper.
Whoa.
Coach Cooper.
What?
You got the boys buzzing.
He always does it.
Angel's gonna show you what he's got.
Coach will get in his head, but still will rock.
Jake's Mr. Consistent and Captain America. But how about these new guys picking up the slack? We're talking boats.
We're talking boats.
We're talking Tampa hockey.
We're making sense.
Oh, what's going on at the bench? It's time. You said what's it time for?
Say what's it time for?
It's time for a shooter.
Time for a shooter.
Shooter and who?
Shooter and who?
Shooter and Schooley. It's We the Thunder. Get on up.
It's time.
Get on up.
It's time.
You say what's the time for? It's time for Shooter and who?
Shooter and Schooley.
It's We the Thunder.
We're talking boats. We're talking boats.
We're talking Tampa hockey.
We're making sense.
Oh, what's going on at the bench? I said Cooper.
Whoa.
Coach Cooper.
What?
You got the boys buzzing.
He always does it.
Angel's gonna show you what he's got.
Coach will get in his head, but still will rock.
Jake's Mr. Consistent.
Welcome to We the Thunder. My name is Rob Reshute. They call me not Mr. New York Thomas School. They call me Shooter.
Wow, that's a nice shooter. Let me have a look at it.
And then we've got Thomas Schooley, as usual. Always here, always on time, Wednesday night. You know what this is from? We're getting flagged for that. That's from Dexter. The serial killer. That's your new sound effect. All right. Well, we've got 4 Lightning games to talk about. A lot of wins in those games. I went to every single game except for one of those 4 games. So a ton to talk about.
So you were 2-3, no, 2-1. I was 2-0. Wait, no, I was 1-0.
You were 1-0. You went to the Wednesday game, the Thanksgiving Eve game against the lowly Calgary Flames. I saw you there. So I know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did I see you at that one?
No.
No, I saw you on Monday. And we did the show on Tuesday last week. But yeah, it's Wednesday night. 4 games to talk about. The Lightning still on a hot streak. The actual streak, 7 games, did end last night on Long Island. And I was there, and I did just get back to the Thunderdome here. So a lot to talk about these games on the road. And I guess we can start with our watch party. Because I actually want to put the link out there for anyone that does not have it. If you're listening to the podcast or if you're watching us live, check the chat. I'm going to throw the link in there. We are going to have a watch party, first one of the season. We've got a Facebook page for it so we can kind of get an idea of how many people are going to come. So if you do plan on coming, go ahead into the notes on the podcast, or if you're watching live on the chat, you should see a link for Facebook. That watch party is going to be at the OCC Roadhouse in Clearwater/Largo area. What would you call that area? Almerton and
Pinellas Park.
Pinellas Park area. So yeah, come join us and let us know that you're going to be there, so we have an idea of how many people are going to be there. Because we are restricted to the inside area, which means that we're going to fill up the place. So make sure you RSVP. That's going to be January 13th. A little over a month away, and that is when the Bolts will be traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Penguins. Not tomorrow night when the Penguins travel to Tampa to play us at the bench tomorrow night. So we hope you will join us, and we will leak out more details of what we're going to do here at the OCC on January 13th in the next couple weeks. So super excited about that. Schooley, what are you going to do at this watch party? Are you going to have a bullhorn and just be going crazy?
No, I'm gonna drive up there on a Harley and bang my drum.
I like that. I'll accept that as an answer. All right. Well, let's talk about some of these games. Let's start with Wednesday night. Wednesday night, the day before Thanksgiving. Always a fun game. It seems like we always get the home game before Thanksgiving. Calgary Flames come to town, and hold on. Wait, I got to queue up some sounds for this one because this is kind of what the first period sounded like if you were at the stadium. I have way too many sound effects on this thing. We gotta narrow this down. All right, here's what it sounded like in Emily Arena. I'll turn this down a little bit. That was in the first couple minutes, and then you didn't have to wait much longer for another. That's three. Strategically doing this because you know what? There was one more. 4 goals in the first period. And then the rest of the game was just kind of boring because we already had it in the bag.
They switched goalies, and it was funny because, some people had asked me if they should go to that game. And I said, well, Calgary was coming in as a bottom feeder team, but the Lightning tend to play down to those teams. So it was kind of a catch game there, and Lightning ended up lighting them up.
They did, yeah. 4-goal first period. You had Hagel getting on the board first with a shorthanded goal. Jurgensen, Destus, Carlisle.
Jurgensen, you got some lotion over here?
Yes, I do. Always. Don't make me put it on camera. Thomas Schooley. The Thunderdome's known for more things than one. There's a casting couch right here now. I don't know if you know that. Now that we have some extra camera equipment in here.
Jurgensen's.
Jurgensen's. Fine. He scored, okay? And when he scores, we win the game. And that's what happened on Wednesday. Destus scored. Declan Carlisle scored. I think Cooch added the 5th goal. 5-1 Lightning over the Flames. A pretty easy game for the Lightning.
And something notable about that game is so many different people involved in the scoring. You had Hagel, Sorelli, Kucherov, then Destu, Paul, Getzel, then Gergesens, Gord, Holmberg, Carlisle, Santini, Getzel, Kucherov, Hagel, Radish. I mean, it was definitely spreading the team around, and we've kind of seen this going on in this 7-game win streak that we just had that ended last night. And you've been seeing that it's been kind of everybody's been involved. And it seems like that more and more players are getting their feel. Still no Braden Point. Still no Hedman. Still no Charnak. Still no McDonough. I mean, and the way Coop talked on this road trip, you're not going to see any of them anytime soon. I think Charnak is the one that's expected back the soonest. Point, undisclosed injury, has not came out and said upper body, lower body, anything. But the way Coop talked about it the other day, don't expect him probably until 2026.
Well, what's the rush to get these guys back? Because we're winning a lot of games. And what do you do when you get them back? Because somebody's not going to be playing. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be on the Olympic team. He was the only player for Team Canada from the Lightning that already guaranteed a spot. Now I'm not even sure if that is going to be happening.
Right. Sorry, I'm just checking here because it looks like same problem every other week where I can't tell if we're live on some of these platforms. Thanks a lot, EV Mux, in your completely inconsistent platform that we are probably going to drop by the end of the year here because this is ridiculous. All right, so hopefully you guys can find us out there. It looks like there's people watching. So, but yeah, it's a good problem to have.
We are on Twitter or X.
Okay.
We are on Facebook.
I just retweeted it just in case. But yeah, it's a good problem to have. You know, it'd be foolish for us to think, even when these guys get back, that, you know, we're not going to have injury problems the rest of the season, right? And if we get to a point where it's like, all right, well, we really need to shore up that bottom six, or maybe try to bring in another defender who can do this really well. You know, some of these guys are now pawns in the trading game with some real NHL experience, and some younger guys too, that of course teams are going to covet. So a good problem to have for the Bolts going into the end of the year here, with the team really stepping up with some of these key players out. It's crazy to think how well they've played without Hedman and McDonough alone. But we'll see what it looks like when those guys come back. What side of the fence are you on with that? Are you take their time in getting these guys back and let these young guys keep doing their thing and gelling? Or do you put Hedman back in there at 22 minutes a game when he's ready?
No, I think for the first half of the season, you just got to let them get healthy. You're going to need them down the stretch at the end and then into the playoffs. So, you know, take as much time as long as you're not losing ground with these young guys, there is no rush. And the Lightning are kind of a little comfortable sitting up there on top. I think they can afford to let them rest as long as needed. I can tell you, Tuesday when we did the block party with Hedman, he did not seem all too injured. And I have been seeing that, you know, they've been participating in skates, but Coop said don't let that fool you. They're still quite a ways from being back.
Well, if there's did they say if it's upper body with Hedman?
They haven't said.
So if it's upper body, then you can still skate for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something for us to keep in.
They said what was Coop's thing in New York was he got out there and twirled around a little bit, but he also stayed behind and skated afterwards. So let me see if I can find. I did see that they reassigned the defenseman Groshev back to the crunch today. Now, whether or not they recall him back before they play tomorrow, I don't know, but I don't know if that means that someone is coming back. Trying to see that. Crozier's close. Here's what Cooper said. Crozier's close, so it might be Crozier coming back. Hetty's probably not, but he got to twirl around a little and participate in some drills. And then you see Mack and Pointer come out at the end. The fact that they're on the ice doesn't expedite when they're coming back. There's still a timetable. Crow is the closest. Do you have a timetable specifically for Point and McDonough? He says no timetable. It's a little early yet. So it looks like McDonough and Point are the worst of the two. You're on mute.
Who would you like to see come back first?
Point. We need to get Point scoring.
I'm with you. I think that's the guy you got to get back there as soon as possible if you can. Insert him into the lineup. And I don't know, it's just like he's missing out there when you look at these top two lines and he's not out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought a couple of spots on these New York games that I know you guys are hyped. Well, yes, we are hyped because you made it, Michelle. These there was a couple spots in these New York games I really thought that Pointer could have possibly made a difference in.
Maybe last night with his speed. Um,
Yeah,
but I think the main area for me is we only scored in these 4 games one time on the power play. So even though we won 3 out of the last 4, there was really only one power play goal in that. And I think if anything, that's where hopefully Point can come back and make a difference. Put him back in the old bumper spot again. Let him try to rip some. Take Bjorkstrand out of there. And Nick Paul was playing a little bit on the power play last night. So, yeah, I'd like to see Pointer come back. What about Detroit? Little Caesars Arena, your favorite arena.
yeah,
Black Friday matinee. This
yeah.
was
12
the
o'clock
game that they scored that power play goal, by the way. The one of the week. Of all people, Yanni, after the first period, was on hat trick alert in this game. Yanni had 2 goals. And then this was the game where I thought the goal of the game was Darren Radish's blast. That was, I think Gabby Shirley said that was the fastest shot or the fastest goal that the Lightning have had miles per hour wise this season. No surprise from Radish. I think
Say the hardest shot.
is that how you say it? The hardest shot
Yes.
in kilometers per hour and miles per hour, both. I always thought Hedman had a heavier shot, but he doesn't.
He used to.
He doesn't really shoot it
He
that
used-
much in the game.
He used to win the one of the hardest shots, but Radish has had it the last couple of years for the Lightning.
Yeah, he definitely has. Hagel also a force in Detroit. Detroit put up a pretty good battle, but they were winning 1-0 at the beginning, and then once we took the lead, we weren't giving it back. So a pretty good performance with the Lightning. Detroit's still hanging in there. They're only a few points behind us. So this might have been the toughest team that we played during this 4-game week. But yeah, 6-3, the Lightning win in Detroit. And then the next day, they've got to fly to New York, and that is where I joined them at Madison Square Garden and saw the Lightning just kind of bully the New York Rangers. They weren't even really letting them shoot the puck that much. And I had a blast watching the game, but at Madison Square Garden, and maybe it was because it was still kind of like the holiday weekend. Maybe this is just how Madison Square Garden is. Like, the fans aren't loudly cheering. Have you been to a game there?
I have not. I know people that have. You got to remember they're a bottom feeder team right now. Their home is not where they're winning at, and they're with a captain that the team doesn't really want as a captain. So, who has been a thorn in every team he's ever been on. So, and there was a reason they got rid of him a long time ago to the Lightning. So, it's not a team that city is really behind right now.
No, it was almost like they weren't paying attention. It was almost like sitting at the Mark at Bunchmark International Arena, where people are more interested in just going there to hang out than to actually watch a hockey game. So I just thought it was weird. I mean, I guess a lot of that goes into what you said. The team's not very good. And then the Lightning just smothered them. They barely had any shots on goal in the first period at all. Let alone
I talked about that a couple episodes ago, that we see this in some other teams, that we tend to play the man, not the puck, where the Lightning finally are now playing the puck. As soon as someone is in the zone with that puck, they swarm that puck rather than just go for man-to-man. And They did it. They got away from it last night on the Islanders, and I think that's because the Islanders were too fast for them. Um, but we saw it with Detroit. We saw it with the Rangers. We saw it even with Calgary. They are going after the puck, and there was something yesterday in the PK where they were holding the blue line up really good. And that's something that they haven't really been able to do. So I like that they've been playing more and more of the puck rather than the man.
Yeah, something's changed in the strategy because we did talk about it several weeks ago about how the Lightning defense as a whole is just not aggressive enough. They let people have too much space, there's too much time, and it comes back to bite them, and that's how they give up goals. And that's definitely changed. And you definitely saw it in the games this week, especially this Rangers game. Hagel, again, obviously Hagel had an amazing week. Didn't get any points last night, unfortunately. But Hagel, with the 2 goals, should have had a hat trick. He missed an open net at the end of the game. I was ready. I had my hat ready to throw, and I would have had to really wing this thing because did you see where I sat?
Yeah.
I sat on the bridge, which is essentially like if they had a catwalk. You know what a catwalk is? We all know what a catwalk is from Rays games, right? It's like up on the roof, essentially. That's where I sat. Like I was
They
looking.
have them. They have them at Benchmark. They have catwalks. They just don't have seats up there.
They made a section in the catwalk in New York where the Rangers play. So it's wild because when you walk out there, you're looking to the right. You can see like what would be our 300 level. Like you can see them sitting there. And I guess that they put another scoreboard because this area where I was sitting blocks where the scoreboard is for them. Like if they look up, they see us sitting up there. So there's another scoreboard where our little bridge area was. And then if you look to the left, you see like you see you're right on top of the ice. And it was weird because there's only 3 rows and I was in the first row. This, by the way, was the cheapest ticket I could get there. And it was a really good seat though. I was on.
Did you see many Lightning fans?
No, I mean there were some Lightning fans, but I didn't see that many. There were more Lightning fans at the Islanders game for sure than there were.
You did see Coop.
I did. I saw Cooper after the game. But my seats though, like I was on the glass, just 200 feet up in the air. It was weird. Like I had glass in front of me. It was actually cool. I would sit there again, and where I sat for the Islanders game, I was 4 rows up, and I paid less than half of what I paid for the tickets at Madison Square Garden. It's insane. But yeah, Lightning win in pretty easy fashion. One weird thing about going to Rangers games is you see all the St. Louis jerseys, the Brad Richard jerseys, the McDonough jerseys. Who else? The list goes on, right? Of all these players that have played for the Lightning in the Rangers. But you see all these people with Lightning players in Rangers jerseys because they still got the jerseys, right? So they're still rocking them, especially when the Lightning come to town. I'm sure they pick out those jerseys to wear. But a great game for the Bolts. JoJo, by the way, played this game. So JoJo was in net and
Callahan.
and had some. There you go, Michelle Callahan as well. Yeah, I mean the list goes on of all these guys that have played for both of these teams. So that was kind of trippy. And if you followed me, I posted some of it to our Twitter, but if you follow at Shooty Shoots on Instagram, I post a lot more pictures on there. So you can see them on there. And then after the game, I was up there by myself. So after the game, I waited a while because I was thinking like, all right, someone's gonna try to fight me. Right? In enemy territory, there's always some asshole. So I wait and just hang out at my seat. And after the game, I go downstairs and the escalators are broke. Like Madison Square Garden is all escalators. Like it's all straight up and straight down, and the escalators are broken. I'm like, what the hell? All of them, by the way. Every escalator there is broken. So I walk my happy ass downstairs, and I was gonna do a Thomas Schooley store review because I know how judgy you get about the Lightning team store. So I was gonna see, all right, well, what's the Rangers team store got in it? And I go to take a look at the Rangers store, and there's a line just to get in. They only let a certain number of people get in. Thomas is so bored of this story, he left. It's pretty bad. Oh, he's back. No, they have a line to get in. They only let a certain number of people in, and I was like, I'm not going to wait in the line to get into the Rangers store where I'm not going to buy any Rangers stuff. So sorry, Thomas, no review of the New York Rangers team store. They split it with the Knicks. There's a bunch of Knicks stuff in there too. Who wants that? So I go outside, and then I decide I'm going to take the long way around the arena and go back to my hotel. By the way, freezing fucking cold up there, 30-something degrees. And this was 5 o'clock at night, and it's already dark out. So I go, and I see kind of like where the players are getting on the bus. So I hang out there. There's like a handful of Lightning fans out there, and Cooper sees a kid out there and a couple of us Lightning fans, and he was not getting on the bus. He was going straight to a car, but decided to come over and say hello. So I did get to talk to Cooper for a minute, and I took a selfie. I'm not a big selfie or autograph guy, but Cooper wanted
a horrible
selfie. He requested it.
It was a horrible selfie.
I wasn't trying to take a selfie. Like I was just talking to him for a minute, and because the girl next to me was like, "I'm from Orlando," and I'm like, "Bitch, I'm from Tampa. Get out of here. Go cheer for the Solar Bears." So he's like, "All right," and he's like, "Let's do this." I'm like, okay. And
they got to spend a couple days in the city before they headed over to Long Island. We saw some of them went to the Knicks game that night. The next night, you had, what was it? Hagel, Paul, Getzel, and Sorelli were at the Knicks game. Those were the only ones I saw out and about.
Me, Cooch, and Vassy went to the area called Little Russia.
Floor 20.
Little Russia. We got some Russian cuisine. Yeah, good times, good game for the Bolts. And then they go over to the island. And you talk about like a completely different experience. That's what you get at the Islanders experience. Like Madison Square Garden's in the middle of like Midtown New York, right? In Manhattan. The Islanders decided to build this arena, which is only 3 or 4 years old, in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's off the interstate. It's where the Belmont horse racing track is. And there's nothing else there.
Part of the Triple Crown. It's the Kentucky,
whatever.
It's the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and then the Belmont Stakes.
But there's nothing there. There's nothing there at all. So, because I'm like, all right, well, let me find some place to grab something to eat.
So it's like the Florida Panthers arena.
Basically, yeah. Overall, the inside of the arena, they did pretty nice. Like, big, wide concourses. You know I like a wide concourse, right?
Okay.
It's one of my problems with Amalie is they kind of squeeze us in there like sardines. And if you think Amalie's bad, Madison Square Garden is basically like single file. All the way around the place. There's not.
Think of what it's like a benchmark.
Wait, what'd you say?
Benchmark.
Benchmark, Emily, whatever the hell they call it. But yeah, completely different. So the Islanders arena, Madison Square Garden looked sold out. The Islanders arena, which is called UBS arena, USB. UBS. USB is your phone charger.
Yeah, UBS.
UBS Arena, and it was it was less than half full, which is kind of embarrassing. And I know the Islanders have not been on a roll like the Lightning have, but they have a better team than the Rangers. But like I said, the actual stadium was pretty nice. Their fans cheer, not just the upper level, in the lower level. I sat in the lower level. Lower level, they were cheering as well. So I think Islanders fans are real ones, the ones that show up, I guess. Like I said, there were way more Lightning fans at UBS Arena compared to Madison Square Garden. Somebody recognized me right away because I was there early, and they're like, "Hey, you're Shooter." I'm like, "Yes, sir." So whoever that guy was, thank you. He didn't really tell me his name. These other people. But what else? Madison Square Garden does not have their version of Greg Wolf. It's just the announcer that does like some of the stuff in between the periods and in the commercial breaks. And then UBS has like a wish.com version of Greg Wolf, and he only does like one or two things a period. And I'm like, man, Greg Wolf is like sweating like nonstop all game. He's got stuff going on. It's a little bit easier now because he's got his little like cove where they stick him, and everyone kind of comes to Greg now. Remember before they had that though, Greg would be all over the arena in different areas.
Yeah, but he still does some. Like he'll be down by where the Zamboni comes out when they're talking to the kid that's on the ice for the
Thunder
for
Kid.
the Thunder. Yeah, they're downstairs usually next to the where the Zamboni comes out, and he goes, and then he has to go on the ice for all the intermissions. So he's still running around a little bit, but not as much. Yes, now they come to them, which is so funny that they built that platform because of COVID, and where Paul Porter wasn't allowed to sit in the box with the players anymore, and he couldn't do the announcing down there. So that's where they built. That's where that platform came from. That was for him, and that's where they light the Tesla coils at the beginning. That is where Franzone stands, and that's where Greg is at.
Yeah, that's kind of like their little spot. But shockingly, how little their version of Greg Wolf had to do. Like this would be like part-time Greg Wolf because he was only on screen for like maybe twice a period, even if that. But I try to go to at least one away game a year, and I'm telling you, I'm biased, right? But I still have not found a better hockey experience than I have in Tampa Bay.
Vegas, Dallas,
I didn't think Vegas was that great.
Nashville.
Like Vegas does a really good job of the pregame show. Like Vegas has shows. That's what they do, right? And
Yeah.
they got the theme of the casinos and the sounds and stuff, but I wasn't that impressed. Maybe because I was there the first or second year. Maybe it's better now.
They do that night, and the sword and everything else. Nashville's got a real good. Nashville and Dallas, I thought, fan experience is probably the best you will see in the league. I'm sorry, Tampa, you guys suck. I mean, we can't cheer more than 3 times. If you say "Let's go Bolts" more than 3 times, then how dare you?
Yeah, but all the other arenas I go to, they're not like constantly cheering either.
Bridgestone is, by the way, congrats to Steven Stamkos, 1,200 points, career points, only 6 active player currently.
What team did he score most of those points for?
Tampa Bay Lightning. As the captain.
You get all your facts. You get all the stats and statistics. Wait, stats and statistics are the same thing. You get your Lightning facts here from Thomas Schooley.
For you guys. Enjoy.
Bridgestone is very loud with their fans. Very It's all your fault. It's all your fault. I like it. I love it. I want some more.
Only after
of
they
it.
score, and they don't score goals anymore.
It's all your fault. The you can't do that. Shame, shame, shame when there's a penalty. So it's a good experience. Dallas has a great beginning. They bring the star down from the ceiling, and the players skate through that every single game. They put on a good show.
Well, I have to put Dallas on my list. I've been to Nashville.
Blues was horrible.
I didn't think Nashville was anything special either. I'd put it above the New York stadiums. A lot of
Have you
that
been to Bridgestone, or have you only been to the stadium?
into Bridgestone.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw the Lightning play there the year after the Stadium Series. I will give them an A plus for location because when
Yeah.
you walk out of that stadium, you are not in a parking lot next to the interstate. You are right on Broadway, and there's plenty of
You
stuff
were
to
across
do.
from Tootsie's.
So I'd put Nashville towards the top. I'd put Vegas on the top again because you're all like, yeah, good show, but also like you're right there in the middle of everything. Like you're 50 yards away from going to multiple casinos and restaurants and stuff like that.
Linda says the Kings Arena has a great pre-show. Serena says Chicago's boring. Carolina was boring. Panthers is boring.
Well, here's my point: is we have it made. I know you're a hater, and you've
No.
just been to too many games, maybe, and you're jaded. But we have a great experience. We have a great surrounding area, better than both New York teams. I can tell you that. And in my opinion, I haven't been to a stadium, a NHL hockey experience that's better. That's why I keep going back.
Yeah, Greg Wolf probably the best in the business, but I would say go to Dallas. Dallas has a great setup around their arena. They have a great experience in it. St. Louis was horrible. We got out of the game in St. Louis and there wasn't one thing open.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to go to any games in St. Louis anytime soon. The other thing that I really didn't like was walking out of the stadium and it being much colder than it was inside of the stadium for both these games. It was freaking cold. When I left the game last night, it was snowing, and I had a good half-hour Uber ride. Well, first wait and then ride to get home. So I appreciate being able to. I don't always go in like flip-flops or sandals, but I appreciate being able to go in shorts compared to some of these teams up in Canada and up north where it's colder outside than inside. We have that luxury for sure. So yeah, I'm very thankful this post Thanksgiving for our arena and Greg Wolf and the team for sure. About that Islanders game, we lost. I thought the team played well. I thought the first period we played really well, and you could see the Islanders' confidence kind of get a little bit stronger throughout the game as they hung in there and scored, that first goal and that second goal. It just built up their confidence. And then we had them on their heels for the last 5 minutes. It was just too late. Dominic James, wonderful goal. That goal was right in front of me. He turns around and just, sometimes when you just shoot the puck and you don't do 5 passes before that, it goes in.
That was only because you tweeted out, shut out, shut out, shut out, shut out, shut out.
I needed to do that earlier. But Sorokin, I saw it firsthand for 40 minutes, was making some unbelievable saves. And there were so many chances where that puck was just right in and around the goal mouth, and it just didn't end up on any of our guys' sticks. I think the closest one to getting kind of a rebound was DeSuze, and he had a backhand opportunity that would have been tough to pull off, but he missed the net. We had deflections that just went wide. I think I tweeted out after the game, it was a joke that they gave Horvat the number 1 star. He had the game. Well, he didn't even have the game-winning goal. He had their first goal, which was a rebound layup goal. And meanwhile, they give Sorokin the second star, who by far should have been the first star of that game. That is why they won that game. And the Lightning made a good attempt. I did not think that they played bad at all in this game. If I was going to complain about anything, I'd say you got to score on one of those power plays. The power play did not look good, but neither team's power play looked good in that game. So 2-1 loss to the Islanders, but that gives us a chance to bounce back tomorrow against the Penguins at home. And then Islanders are coming to town on Saturday, so maybe a little revenge for the team on Saturday against the Islanders. So as I kind of mentioned, 1 goal in these last 4 games on the power play. What are we going to do about this?
I don't know. They were looking so good. And then you thought they had found a solution. And now it's predictable. And it's Cooch going to that bumper. And them kicking it wide. Like, I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing.
Yeah, they've got to figure this out. Like I said, hopefully Point can come back and that will make something happen for them. But I don't know. For some reason, they just cannot convert on these power plays. Maybe the move is getting it back to Radish. That was their 1 power play goal, was his rocket, I believe, this week. So maybe that's the move now. Let's just crowd the net and let Radish just rip it and hope it doesn't hit any of our players on the way in. But I was kind of getting frustrated last night because I just wanted to see them start throwing stuff at the net, because it was pretty clear that they were going to have a tough time beating Sorokin. You're going to have a deflection or a screen or something like that. And they started to play like that in the 3rd period when they started to get into desperation mode, down by 2 goals. But yeah, I would guess that we'll see, and I think we did last night, a little bit more Brandon Hagel on the power play.
I think you need to start shooting more from that blue line, and you saw it kind of as the power play was towards the end. You saw Radish doing that, and DeStew all shooting from that blue line, from that middle spot there. Cooch is looking for those passes too much, looking for behind. I mean, Getzel, they talked about in yesterday's game 2 different times. It was given to him, and all Eglon kept saying is that, oh, now he figured that out. Now he figured that out. If he gets it again, he'll probably put it in the back of the net. Well, no, you've already tried it 2 times. Like, you can't go, okay, we're going to try it this way, we're going to try it this way, and hopefully get a 3rd power play. Now I know what I need to do. That's not how it works. You're lucky if you get 1, 2, 3 a game.
Yeah, they got to start converting. I mean, they're still winning games without scoring on the power play, but you know, by the time we get to the playoffs, that's what killed us last season in the playoffs. We could not score a goal on the power play against the Florida Panthers. I'm going to put this question out there. I think it was Bleacher Report earlier today. They did an article for all the NHL teams on the one word you would use to describe their season so far. So I know what they put for the Lightning. Maybe you saw this article too, but I want to put it out there. Looks like we got a good crowd in the chat. So I want to put it out there for you and put it out there on the chat. If you could describe the Lightning season in one word so far this season, what would that one word be?
Replacements.
Replacements?
Just like the football movie.
With Keanu Reeves
Yep.
and the stripper cheerleaders? All right, that's actually pretty good. I didn't think
I
we'd get
mean,
anything that good from you.
who literally would have looked at this lineup and looked at the crunch lineup? I mean, we thought um, Duke was going to be called up sometime, Pelletier sometime. Like, Stu, who thought he was going to be playing this many games? Douglas, James. There's so many players that have been called up this year and, like, really have caused an issue for when players come back. And who has played better than Moser? There is nobody else that I think you have a 1A and a 1B, with Mosier being the D and Hagel being the offense.
You reminded me. I want to look and see how many minutes he played last night, because there was a point in the second period, and I was sitting on the side where the Lightning were going twice. By the way, I want you guys to answer the question. I don't know if that's an answer from Roscoe. Jack Adams. That's 2 words, but we'll accept it if that's your answer.
Got lucky against the Rangers. Everybody's getting lucky against the Rangers.
Yeah, that's a horrible comment. You got lucky against
Yeah.
the Rangers. They had like 10 shots in the game. That's not luck. That's just getting worked. But yeah, I want to hear what everyone else says for that. But what I was saying about Mosier was, so second period, I got Vassy in front of me, right? And I'm noticing, like, Mosier's out there every time I look. Whether it's, we're on the penalty kill, or we're just playing defense, because this was the game started to flip a little bit in the Islanders' direction. And I was like, oh my gosh, how many minutes is this guy playing? So I'm actually going to look that up to see if it obviously is over 20 minutes, but the way I was looking at it,
Rated the
like
number 2 defenseman in the league right now.
Based on what?
Based on plus minus, based on minutes played, based on scoring opportunities for and against.
All right, let's see the official time on ice sheet here from NHL.com. I'm actually looking at like the official one that tracks every single shift. Have you ever seen this before?
No.
How many shifts do you think Anthony Cirelli had last night? By the way, if anyone was going to score last night, it was going to be Cirelli. How many chances did he miss?
A lot.
And you know what's crazy is he had a couple that were right in front of Sorokin, like point blank, which are really tough as a goal scorer, because you're just too close to the goalie at that point. And he was specifically practicing that in pregame warmups, like being that close in getting those pucks up over a goalie. But
yeah, he was so close to getting that.
Yeah, he should have scored if any.
Tells one word is enigmatic.
Hold on, I got my time on ice for JJ Mosier, 22:48. It seemed like he played at least 5 more minutes than 22. And he was getting roughed up a little bit, like he was in the mix. We don't talk about that guy enough. That is for sure.
Well, the other awakening, I was listening to Benjamin Pierce, Bobby the Chief, and Eric, and even Greg Nonelli the other day, and they were talking about where was this Radish Like Radish just became a whole new person that even sitting Radish now is going to be hard to do because he has fought for a spot and that he's got the hardest shot. He's making good decisions. He's, doing things what they thought he was. And they were saying that JBB's got to be like the whole team's got to feel like he's like a new free agent because this was not the Radish they thought they were going to have and the one that they had been sitting for some of those games. And now all of a sudden this Radish has appeared and they're like, it's a brand new player. Like you just got a brand new player to your team.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple this year, but I think the thing that we got to remember is Hedman is not getting any younger. McDonough's even older than Hedman. So we really needed some of these guys to step up. And I heard some Rangers fans talking about like they had Radish. Radish was our Radish. Darren was on their roster a couple years ago. And they didn't keep him. But just like we saw, he wasn't the same player in previous years to what we're seeing this year. And these guys aren't perfect. Like, he still makes some mistakes. Chucky's making mistakes out there that are turning into scoring chances. But, I mean, especially for that guy, too, to step up and have power play time and getting the ice time that he's been getting, that's pretty amazing. Linda says she was going to say young guns, but that's 2 words. Come on. One word, you guys. There's your Michelle's enigmatic. Blake Wheeler's burner account says Edmonton has a nice stadium. I don't know if I'm ever going to make it to Edmonton. That's really far. And he does not like Hagel. How do you not like Hagel? I guess if you're American and you're not a Lightning fan, you might not like Brandon Hagel after the Four Nations tournament.
I don't know how, just as a hockey fan, you can't, like, the Bedard. Do you see that Bedard goal from last night? Just as a hockey fan, like, they're nasty. Hagel has some nasty shots that you just look at him and go, oh, shit. And same thing as Bedard last night. I can't stand McDavid, but he's a good player.
Well, yeah, and Hagel plays so hard. In the first 5 minutes of last night's game, he crushed somebody, and that was right in front of me. Do you remember him hitting somebody last night? He rocked somebody, and
Yes.
I wish I had my camera ready because that was right in front of me. Yeah, heck of a player. Tough not to like him, but I guess, it's one of those things where if he's not on your team, you're going to be hating on him for sure. There's another one. One word. Josh did it. Change. That's a pretty good one. I would have said, I was thinking about this earlier. I would have just said depth because that word has not existed with this team in the last couple years, and it does exist this year. All right.
I think we've always had depth in the forward position, just not the blue line.
I don't think so.
This year,
Our bottom
it seems to
6
be.
has sucked the last 2 years.
Yeah, but it isn't because we didn't have the people down in Syracuse. We had people down in Syracuse. It's just they didn't want to bring them up.
Yeah, but those guys come up and they don't really make a big of a difference like Dominic James has, for example.
Right.
All right, well, let's get out of here. We've got 2 games at home the rest of this week. So we've got the Penguins in town tomorrow. We've got the Islanders coming into town on Saturday. And then this team is going to go on another 4-game road trip. So they've got to go play the Leafs and then the Canadians back-to-back next week, Monday, Tuesday. We'll be right here on Wednesday night when they have their off night, and then they have to go back to the New York, New Jersey area to play the Devils, and then they play the Islanders again. on Saturday, December 13th. We'll be back before that Devils and Islanders game to see what happened in the 4 games that we've got this week.
By the way, Panthers last place in the division. Toronto just right above them, with just the Sabres separating them. You got, I think, the Flyers, I think, are turning up a notch and going to climb up theirs. Capitals seem to be following behind the Hurricanes now. So this East is going to be, I think these playoff is going to look a lot different than in years past.
Yeah, that's what we should do next week. We haven't really done that yet. Is let's go look at the standings for all the divisions, and let's look at the stats for the rest of the league, which we usually do once a month. I did just put in the chat our link to our shirts, Stadium Series themed, Freeze the Bay. Get yours before Thomas Schooley gets his. I've been seeing somebody posted when I was up in New York. Somebody posted they got theirs. So
Are you going to do a patch? I see everybody wanting a patch.
I don't have a patch maker.
Patch maker.
Yeah, and I'm not a patch maker, so I don't know if that design really matches with a patch. I don't know.
I'm sure
If anyone knows any patch makers, let me know. But got another exciting 4 games this week. Maybe we'll have a guest on next week. It's been a couple weeks since we had anyone. Since we had ESPN. By the way, Greg Wisniewski from ESPN wanted a shirt. Did I tell you that? I shipped him one. He already has his We the Thunder Freeze the Bay shirt before you do.
Can you ship me mine?
I couldn't keep Greg waiting. You're not going tomorrow, you said, right?
No, I'm not going to either of the games.
You're not going Saturday either? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to need a new co-host. Nikki Kucherov is going to be co-hosting with us next week.
Oh, gosh.
I guess at this point, maybe I should ship you your shirt.
Maybe the response I just did to somebody on Facebook. Maybe I might be going to the game Saturday.
All right. Well, you let me know. You guys go order your shirts so you're ready for Stadium Series. And you got anything else for the people?
No, we will have an announcement for the Thunderbolts Christmas party next show. I should actually have the event tomorrow.
That's incredible!
And by the way, we did do a Tampa Bay Lightning Bolt for Life skate tonight. So thank you to the Lightning organization. It was as basic could be, but at least they did something for us this year.
At the arena?
Yes. Yeah, we got to skate on the Michelle, what was that? What was the alumni's name? So they had Coburn, but somebody accidentally had his jersey made with the number 54. Then they had Bradley, which he's there every time. Then they had some guy from the 2001-2002 season. It was full season. Yeah, see, I didn't know that, but someone decided to write some comment on my pictures, Linda. Yeah, Glenn Metropolit. He was one of the alumni that came and skated with us tonight. By the way, 2 games he played for the Lightning. 2 games.
Still counts.
Huh?
Still counts.
Yeah.
You must live here.
Yeah. So he was one of it was advertised to have a alumni there, and that was the alumni during the session after me. They had some good cookies and some popcorn, and some good hot chocolate. And that was about it. Oh, and some magnets.
Well, what else would you want?
Well, they used to have photo stations out on the ice or on the bench and stuff like that, and Christmas trees and stuff for you to. Now they don't do that. They used to have, if you brought a toy, you got to go to the locker room, a tour of the locker room. They used to have Santa in the back where you took pictures with Santa. So that was kind of. They dumbed it down.
They should have had Pat Maroon dress up as Santa.
Or even Nick Paul, like he did for the team last year.
There you go. These guys are probably tired. Listen, I live the same lifestyle, okay? Flying in and out all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go get some rest, okay? Because I'm trying to go to every game this season, apparently. So I might be there tomorrow as well. All right, well, that's it. We will be back next Wednesday to talk about 4 more Lightning games. Hopefully, we're talking about at least 6 points in those 4 games. Until then, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
That's it.
On up!
It's time.
Get on up!
It's time.
You say what's the time for? It's time for Shooter and who?
Shooter and Schooley.
It's We the Thunder! We're talking boats!
We're talking balls.
We're talking type of hockey!
We're making sense.
Oh, what's going on at the bench? I said Cooper!
Whoa.
Coach Cooper!
What?
You got the boys buzzing.
He always does it.
Hagel's gonna show you what he's got.
Coach will get in his head, but still